everybody, you're watching a physio named Jonah. That's this guy. As you may or may not know, I live in Sudbury, which is in Ontario, which is in Canada. A few weeks before the release date of this video, the government of Ontario imposed another state of emergency involving shutdowns of nearly all exercise-related facilities and programs, in addition to shutdowns of many other things. Over the past year, all across the world, COVID-19 has caused lockdowns, shutdowns, isolation, social distancing, work from home, school from home, all of which has impacted population physical activity as well as mental health. In today's video, I'll be investigating some of these challenges, touching on the increased use of workout from home, as well as breaking down what this past year has meant for physical activity in general. Just to be clear, this is not a video where I'm going to be diving into 7 easy steps for staying active during COVID or something like that. There are enough of those videos already out there. I want to also note off the top here that I'm not going to be taking any real pro or against stances against COVID lockdowns in general. Instead, my goal is to describe and honestly validate the challenges that many of us have been going through over the past year, specifically when it comes to physical activity. I'll be drawing upon my own clinical experience, my personal experiences, as well as research articles which I will link below in the description if you are interested. So don't socially distance yourself from that screen, right? So everyone's already painfully aware of the obvious here. COVID lockdowns result in closures of facilities and many activities, particularly where people congregate together. Not going to break any new ground there. Which means, as you already know or can easily conclude, activities like sports and facilities like gyms are particularly hard to run during lockdowns. By that I mean they don't. In many cities and countries across the globe, these were some of the first things to be cut once lockdowns were implemented. Here in Ontario, where I live, these facilities have just been closed again during our current 4-week lockdown and have been open at best with partial capacity over the last year. So what's the solution we all come to right away? Activities like walking, running, bodyweight workouts, or home weighted workouts, if you have some equipment, are all pretty good options then. These are all more COVID-proof than others, considering you don't have to rely upon facilities to be open or closed. You don't have to put yourself at an increased risk of exposure by attending anywhere outside of your home. But what if you don't really know how to adapt your workouts to a home setup? What if you don't know how to start a running program? Well, have I got a solution for you! We live in a society now where information is accessible online very easily, provided you have an internet connection. Using the power of Google, there are a ton of home workout options out there. Videos, classes, descriptions, lists online, just about anything you could want, for the most part free of charge. If you are in the mood to spend money though, there are a ton of companies out there who would love to meet you. Services like Peloton or other home workout classes or groups have existed for a while, but are really becoming more prominent now that they're more or less the only show in town for some people. So there you go. Your gym got closed, your activities got canceled, but you can just stay home and do workouts. You can use online classes. Hey, a lot of people are working from home anyway, so we should have more time to work out, right? What's the problem then, he ironically asked, setting up a segue into his next segments. Okay, yeah, so there have been a lot of problems. As I mentioned earlier about research articles, I'm going to be referencing some of them in this next section. I'll be putting the authors list up on the screen, so that way if you're interested, you can use those authors, track them down into the links in the description, and go ahead and learn more from there. Population studies have shown thus far that COVID lockdowns and social distancing results in fewer step counts and decreased physical activity in many countries across the globe. So while home workouts and outdoor activities are still available, we are overall less active as a species when our social avenues of exercise and facilities are closed. Who knew? Online programs aren't all created equal either. Just because there are a lot of options out there doesn't mean it's going to be easy to find the one that works best for you. Add on to that the fact that you can't have somebody in person like a trainer monitoring your form or helping you with your technique, and it can make starting new movements a significant challenge. It should be noted here that professional services like Peloton or others do provide very high quality information. However, because they are paid services, not everyone has access to them, so finding quality unpaid services can be a challenge. Other studies have also linked COVID lockdowns to, in general, poor diets, decreased sleep quality, as well as a bevy of psychological effects. These include feelings of loneliness, a decreased social support, as well as an overall decreased psychological well-being. A common trend between some of the articles I read were that COVID created unique barriers that were very difficult to overcome to maintain an active lifestyle. Said differently, COVID has made it really, really hard to stay physically active. COVID lockdowns seem to impact different groups, well, differently. Some groups have actually shown increased levels of activity and more positive health behaviors, while many others have shown less physical activity with a decrease in their positive health behaviors. A problem here is that the groups who were more likely to be impacted by these COVID lockdowns negatively were those who had pre-existing health conditions, had increased feelings of loneliness, less feelings of social support, or had struggled to maintain their physical activity in the past. The takeaway here for this physiotherapist is that the last year has been a seriously challenging one in terms of staying active. We now have the data to show that these lockdowns and social distancing result in people being less active, which really shouldn't come as a surprise considering so many ways people used to stay active were closed. I mean, not everyone loves working out from home either, right? It's totally obvious, but I feel like it has to be said. Working out from home was always an option before, and some people would do that, but there's a reason that a lot of others chose to go outside of their home to facilities or play sports for their physical activity. Being surrounded by other people exercising or putting yourself in a context specific to exercise is a lot more motivating for some people. Group activities or facilities also carry a social support component, which is hugely beneficial for reasons beyond purely the exercise itself. Many of us have struggled with mental health over the past year as well, which is really hard to hear as a healthcare professional when we know that exercise has preventative effects on mental health and well-being. This cycle is really hard to break though, as feeling as though you don't have the energy, social support, or motivation to start exercise is going to keep you from the positive effects that exercise would have on your psychological well-being. If you are someone who has struggled to stay active over the past year, I want to leave you with the research and overall the reassurance to know that you are not alone in this and you should not feel guilty. This last year has been difficult for so many reasons. Give yourself grace and know that it is never too late to get started with physical activity. Finding out what form of movement is going to work for you in this current climate is not always easy, but it is worth your time and the energy that you can put into it. I honestly and truly wish you the best getting started or maintaining your current program as we all progress through this COVID lockdown journey thing together. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, consider hitting that thumbs up button or subscribing so you don't miss any new videos that I would be releasing. Either one of those helps out my channel as well as my videos reach more people. If you have any recommendations for staying active during COVID that you found particularly helpful, feel free to leave those in the comments section for myself as well as other people who may come across this video. Most importantly, as always, but particularly with today's video, move your body, have a laugh today, and I will see you at the next video. Socially distance yourself from that screen. That's the best opener I can come up with. The intonation on that was so bad. Just saw a bird. Ozzy. You saw the bird too. I can't tell if the intonation sounds good or really bad. I got a stupid face on, but one of those will work.